Twitter is appointing Elon Musk to its board of directors now. This announcement, of course, comes after Musk's big stock buy after he criticized the tech giant over its handling of free speech. Let's bring in Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul. Senator, great to see you. We figured you'd probably have a lot to say on this. What does it tell you that Elon Musk is now the largest shareholder of a company he's been very critical of? Not only that, now he has secured a seat on the board.
Well, my hope is it brings a new ethos to the company. I mean, this is a company where the CEO not too many months ago said, the First Amendment doesn't apply to us. And while technically that's true, the First Amendment doesn't prevent Twitter from regulating or censoring speech, there's also just the idea of whether freedom of speech, whether open liberal debate is a good or a bad thing. And I think this is where many liberals mistake this. They all of a sudden have discovered the First Amendment doesn't apply to private individuals and private companies. And that's right, but that doesn't mean the idea of freedom of speech is not a good one. I think Elon Musk has been a voice out there saying, yeah, we need more freedom of speech, and it is a good idea to have more freedom of speech. So I'm hoping, we've already seen some on the left, wigging out and saying they're leaving Twitter if Elon Musk is coming. I say good riddance. I say, if the left-wing crazies that are trying to censor speech leave Twitter, then it'll be a better place.
I mentioned this earlier. This is a guy who came out very publicly in the middle of an American energy crisis and said, produce more oil. We need to help out the American consumer that is struggling right now. And he owns an electric car company that would benefit from high oil prices. So he appears to say it like he sees it. I'll let you respond to that, but also I'll put his words up on the screen here. Since he took on this role, he seems to be soliciting feedback on how he should handle his new role, saying given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. What should be done? I'll let you respond.
I would say the one thing, and I don't know Elon Musk, I've never met him, but I would say that he has cultivated this persona of independence, of being a free thinker, and that used to be what intellectuals respected. It used to be that people on the left or right, but people of ideas respected ideas. If you were willing to state your ideas and defend them. But then we become more and more this sort of authoritarian notion, mostly from the left, that ideas they disagreed with were to be suppressed. And this has really been true on COVID, but even before COVID, I think was true of climate alarmism as well, that there couldn't be more than one viewpoint. Only, the group thinks this way, you're not allowed to think. So I think the more ideas, the better. But I do respect that Twitter's a private company and has the right to regulate speech. I don't think it's a good idea, nor do I think it's good for the country. But I do think Elon Musk will be a good addition to Twitter and hopefully a good voice on their board for more freedom of speech.
And when I say soliciting feedback on how he should proceed, he also asked this in a polling question on the edit button. Anybody who uses Twitter will understand. Do you want an edit button? Yes or no? He's asking the question. And by the way, we did not spell that wrong. He did. We just put it on the screen the way he put it out there. I kind of was jotting down notes while you were talking, Senator, because a couple of the big theories that are running around in the social media atmosphere as a result of Elon Musk taking a seat on the board and becoming the largest shareholder stood out to me. One was, will he bring back former President Donald Trump and allow him back on Twitter, since, of course, he was banned? And two, I don't know, Elon Musk is a smart guy. Maybe he's accumulating such a big share of the company and a seat on the board to only shut it down and start his own social media company. You weigh in.
It used to be that the board of a company or the mission of a company was to make money. And so my guess, if Donald Trump came back with 80 million followers, my guess is that Twitter would make more money. It's amazing that we now have this sort of pseudo-social conscious that we put this into board meetings, and the boards are doing things and making policy that makes them less money. So I kind of liked it when there was an obligation, actually a financial obligation, to make money for public corporations. And so, yeah, I think it'll be good. I think people might think about it. Now, I don't know if Donald Trump would come back. He started his own competing enterprise now. So I have a feeling he might not come back, even if he were invited.
Interesting. So is this the big win for free speech that conservatives are touting?
I think it is a win. How big it'll be will be determined in the future, but we need more competition. I'm competing with Twitter also. I have libertytree.com. I'm a little bit smaller than Twitter, but everybody should go out and compete. Rumble.com is competing with YouTube. The more competition, the freer the speech will be. The more ideas, the more speech, the better.
It is amazing when you think about how it has changed politics, social media, not just social media, but specifically Twitter. I mean, you look at the way the former president used it like no other president before him did, how it's being used now. Senator, final thought?
Well, and some of the stuff's just clever and funny. We retweeted a woman this morning who said about putting masks on toddlers in New York. She said, why don't we put stickers on them that say COVID be gone? Because that would be just as effective as the mask and less obnoxious.
Senator, always good to have you on the program. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Hope to have you back soon. Thank you.